Uh, Vic, I'm just wanted to ask you about Shelby's timetable. If he tests positive or negative rather, a certain number of times, could he be available Sunday?
Not exactly sure yet. There's a chance that even if he's negative now and forever, he still might not be able to play. You know, we're sifting through all that with the league.
Okay. And then two of the guys that you listed on the estimation yesterday that they wouldn't have practiced, Philip Lindsay and Bryce, what's their status today?
I think them both will be practicing today on a limited basis. And I think both of them should be okay for the game.
And then last one on the injuries, did Boye advance at all in the concussion protocol, or will he be on the field?
He won't be on the field,
Okay.
but that's part of the protocols. You know, guys with the concussions cannot hit the field till Friday, you know, with the team.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Next one, Ari Stapleton.
Hey, Vic, I know you've talked before about admonishing your players not to gripe about this 2020 season with the COVID and everything like that. And I'm wondering if you've also admonished them not to gripe about the fans booing them. There's been several players that have either taken to social media or traditional media and kind of griped about, you know, hey, come on, get on our side, jump on board the bandwagon. What's your philosophy on, you know, the fans, players admonishing the fans to, you know, quit booing us?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of all that, of them admonishing the fans, but that's just part of pro sports. And sometimes it's harsher than others. Me being my Philadelphia roots know all about it. And, you know, I think it's better left alone. You know, fans pay their money. They can boo if they want.
Next one, Ryan O'Halloran.
Hey, Vic, couple for you. Just to confirm, Glasgow definitely out this week.
Correct.
Then if you have to play Bassie in a prominent role, he finished up the game the other day. How have you seen him make some strides in practice since you made the change in the Jet game?
He's done well. You know, he's taken it just like we all thought he would. You know, he's a very mature guy for being a rookie, has a lot of pride, does a great job of studying and preparing, which was evident in the game the other day. He has to come in there cold, hadn't played since the Jet game, and, you know, knew what to do. So if he has to go in there and play, you know, we have the confidence in him.
And as a follow-up, what do you see from the Falcons offense since they made the coaching change and won 2 out of 3?
They haven't really changed much, if anything. They're a really good offense. You know, anytime you can throw the names out there like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, you know, Hayden Hurst, Todd Gurley, you know, Alex Mack, Lindstrom, McGarry, you know, they got a lot of talent on offense, and it's reflected in their stats.
Next one, Troy, right before we open it to the whole group. Go ahead, Troy.
Coach, I have 2 quick ones for you. One, with you losing a practice day in person yesterday, does that change how you would maybe strategize a little offensively in terms of lost practice time? And the second question is, how is Kareem able to kind of walk that line in the modern NFL of being unbelievably physical yet staying within the rules?
He's good at it. He, you know, his experience, number one, so he's grown up in the league where these rules have been instituted and constantly scaled back. So he's grown with it. He's managed to understand what is and what isn't allowed, and he does a good job of tackling legally with good hits. And the first part, you know, I don't think it will adjust a whole lot. Obviously, if we were going to put in something new that we don't feel we can get enough reps at, that might not make the play call list then. But you just have to adapt, you know, and get a lot of mental reps. It's important in these situations, just like it is when you play a Thursday night game where you get basically no practice, everything's walkthrough. that you get a lot of mental reps and do a great job sweating in the meetings rooms, straining your brain to learn and everything and visualize it and be able to execute it with minimal reps.
Next, we've got Orlando Ledbetter with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Go ahead, Orlando.
Yeah, Coach, what are you seeing that Falcons defense with Grady Jarrett up front? And, they've been blitzing a little bit more over the last 3 games.
Yeah, they're fast on defense. Grady Jarrett's a really good player. He's quick, explosive. He's got really good instincts on the move. Does a good job of setting up guys in pass rush and using his quickness. They got Fowler's a good pass rusher. Deion Jones is a really good linebacker. They've gotten, A.J. Terrell in the secondary. The one thing that jumps out is they are fast on defense and they play aggressive and fast. And they have been pressured more of late. So happy that we have a couple games to see them on tape because they have had a little bit of a change in their philosophy that way.
Next one, Brandon Cristall. Time for a few more after Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
Coach, without, I guess, giving away a game plan, would you like to see the 2 young tight ends on the field together a little bit? As a defensive guy, I know you're all worried about matchups, defense to offense. I got to think those 2 would create a challenge. So is there a hope of seeing them a little more together?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. We'll be dressing 3 tight ends, as you know, with Jake and Beck on the IR. So obviously, if we're playing a good bit of the 2 tight end personnel groups, there's really a good chance that we'll be out there together.
Next one, Ed DeLon.
Coach, just big picture, what have you seen from your team after starting 0-3, now with a chance to get back to 500 here this week?
Well, we've been pretty resilient. It hadn't affected our effort, starting off bad. Hadn't affected our intensity, our preparations. Guys have just kept pounding away and at it. And we've had some results the last 3 out of 4 weeks go our way. And hopefully we can continue that way.
Next one, Nick Kosmider.
Yeah, Jerry, I believe, was targeted by Drew about 10 times in Sunday's game. How much of their connection is just about the reps? I think that was only their 4th full game together. And how much of that is going to go into their connection continuing to improve?
That's definitely part of it. It's not just it's their 4th game together. As you said, it's a shortened training camp, no off season. Drew missing 3 or 4 games, which includes practice. Jerry had some, minor injuries that kept him out of a practice or 2. So all of that added up, they just haven't been out there a whole lot together. So the more that happens, the more they'll be more comfortable with each other, both from the route running standpoint, Drew understanding his routes and how he runs them, and for Jerry, how he throws the ball and the timing of certain plays. So, yeah, it's important.
Final 2, Zach, then Kyle.
Hey, Coach, if Shelby Harris can't play this weekend, how will you go about replacing him, not having him, Mike Purcell, and Jarrell Casey? You haven't had him for a while, but you're missing a lot of those guys on the defensive line.
Yeah, if we don't have Shelby, we're basically missing our entire starting defensive line. Probably Sosa would come up then as the 5th lineman. And, we got the other 4 guys, and we'll make do with that. But, we'll have Deshaun, Draymond, Sylvester, D. Walker, and Sosa. That's what we call McTelvin, Sosa.
Final one, Kyle Newman.
Piggybacking off of that on the defensive line, with Draymond Jones and DeMarcus Walker, what are you specifically looking to see out of those guys, down the stretch of the season, especially as they came off of IR a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I thought DeMarcus had a very good game last week, and the snaps that he did get made some good plays for us. Had a sack that got taken away by a bad penalty called in the secondary. We need him to build on that game and continue to get better. And I think he can. Same thing with Dre. Dre's, I think this will be his 3rd game back since his injury. And he's definitely improved each and every game. You can see him getting his strength and his confidence back in his leg there. And those guys are going to get a lot more plays than they have been getting because of the situation in the D-line.